Good morning, friends. I'm here with your Sunday school lesson for today. Now, you might remember that we just started talking about a new person, a new Bible story. We've started talking about a man named Saul, who was a persecutor of Christians, a hunter of Christians, somebody that was trying to find Christians and arrest them so that they couldn't share the good news about Jesus. And we shared the story of how he got permission to go to the city of Damascus to look for Christians there. And he was traveling on the road to Damascus when a bright light comes from the sky. And Saul sort of falls down before it. And he's like, oh, what is this? And he hears a voice. And he says, Saul, Saul, why are you persecuting me? Why are you doing this? And Saul says, who are you? Who's talking? And the voice says, I am Jesus. I'm the one that you're hurting. You need to go to Damascus, and you need to go to this place, and you need to wait, and you will get instructions for what's going to happen next. And the light sort of fades away, and Saul rubs his eyes, but when he opens them, he can't see. He's blind. So the people that he's with help to get him to Damascus. He goes, he finds a place to stay. He gets word that a man named Ananias is going to come to him. Ananias is somewhere else in Damascus and gets the word that he is supposed to go find Saul, and he is supposed to lay hands on him to heal him. And Ananias doesn't really want to do this because he's heard that Saul is mean and wants to find Christians and arrest him. And he's a little bit afraid that he's going to be arrested if he goes to Saul. But the voice tells him, nope, it's okay. You need to do this. So Ananias follows through. He goes to find Saul, finds him, lays hands on him, and what's described as the scales that were over Paul's eyes that kept him from seeing fall away, and he can see again. And this whole experience of meeting and hearing Jesus on the road to Damascus and being healed, and all of this convinces Paul that absolutely Jesus is the Son of God. Convinces Saul. And then Saul goes on to be baptized and to learn about Jesus. And he goes on to share all of the good news with the people of the world. Now, I tripped up there because I said Paul when I meant to say Saul. And that's part of the story I want to talk about today, is why does his name change when he becomes a Christian? What happens there? Why is he Saul and then Paul? And this happens sometimes in Bible stories. It usually happens when God is doing something really important with someone. When God is making a shift or a change, or something big is going to happen. The first time we see it is way back in the Old Testament, in Genesis, when God is first having a relationship with a man named Abram. And God and Abram are talking, and Abram is a righteous man. He does the things that God likes. And God enters into a covenant, into a special agreement with Abram, and says, if you follow me, if you worship me, I will bless you, and I will bless your family, and you will have descendants throughout the ages, more than you can count. And when this covenant comes into being, when God has this special promise with Abram and his people, he also says, but now your name is Abraham. Okay. And his wife's name is changed as well, as they are in this covenant together. And she hasn't been able to have children, and then miraculously, at a very old age, she is able to have children. Her name changes as well from Sarai to Sarah. There are a couple of other times where names are changed. In the New Testament, there are two big ones. When we first meet the fishermen who become Jesus's first disciples, we meet Andrew and his brother Simon. But Jesus, meeting Simon, says, "But your name is now going to be Peter," which means the rock. Because Peter will one day sort of start and be the foundation person, if you will, to help start the first church. And to sort of, when Jesus ascends into heaven, Peter becomes the person that the other disciples look to as they're starting the church. So Simon becomes Peter. And with Saul, Saul's name changes because Saul, who is a devout Jewish person, he's doing what he thinks is the right thing. But when he has his time with Jesus, when he converts to Christianity, he's a new creation and he has a new mission. And he becomes Paul. And Paul writes many, many, many of the letters that we have in the New Testament. A big part of the Bible that we have is these letters from Paul where he is sharing his lessons about Jesus. His name changes because he's going to become an evangelist to people all over the world through his letters and through his writing. So name changes in the Bible tell us something. And when you find them, when you see them, you go, okay, there's something going on here that I need to pay attention to. There's something special that happens. So, just for fun, talk to your family and see if you can find, or if you know of any other examples of name changes that are sort of famous in the Bible. I will give you a hint on where to get started. One of the big ones happens to Abraham's grandson. So there's a hint. If you're not sure and you need to look something up, I'll give you that hint that's a good place to start. There are two brothers that are the grandsons of Abraham, and one of them has a name change. Little mystery for you today. All right. So that's our story of Saul becoming Paul and why it's kind of important and what happens because of it. So your next video, the activity we have is a game today. So I hope you'll jump into that and see what you can do today to live into this story a little bit more. Okay? Bye for now.